Greetings everybody, Thetimics here. Welcome back to Let's Play Frostpunk. It's day 17 in New London. A new home, hard Path of Faith campaign, and of course our main crisis is still dealing with the Londoners. Bit of a confession to make. I had gone several days ahead of this and realized that I had made a couple mistakes, and that's had to happen a little bit, but usually I figure it out sooner. Bottom line is, at this point, we really need to be focusing on steel. I wonder if our captain really has a plan. And thinking all your work's going to be for nothing. Not quite. Now, if we look at our map here, we are headed out here to get this outpost. Where we're going to get a bunch of coal. And I basically was still focusing too much on coal. Started to get just a little bit behind on steel. That created other problems. So I really needed it's one of those things where a small mistake sort of compounds itself over time. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to go back and do this a little bit closer to accurate. That is the goal with this campaign anyway, to not make a whole lot of mistakes and really show how much you can do even on the noble path if you don't if you pay attention to details like that. So here we are, moving forward. Let's get to work for the day. Okay, so basically what I did here is started off with steel, then coal, and then wood, because we do have plenty of that. Both of them, really. And let's see if we've got, yeah, now we've got the workers back. At least that group. They're not quite here yet, but that'll let us fill in. Couple more sawmills. And here we are. Let's pull those out. Put those workers in here. And now I'm going to sort of violate one of my basic rules here, which is you never build anything until everybody gets to work, because then they might stop working and go build. I don't care if they stop working and go build, because we need, well, I don't want it quite yet. We don't have enough. Need to get 10 steel. I need another shrine, and I'll explain why in a second. Okay, so as you can just see there, the bonus for the workshops, and it's everywhere that it's covered. If we go to the coal mine, you got 120% efficiency there too. And we don't have a shrine yet over here, which is an oversight. I should have put one up there earlier. Of course, I'm not gonna. That's why I play ahead some. I'm not gonna go back and re-record videos that I've already released, but I want to get that up there right away by the steel, and I don't care what else has to suffer to make it happen. Because as soon as that gets up, we'll get a bonus to our steel and get that accelerated. If you would please go over there. There they go. They got over there. They're starting to do the work. Now, we could use shrines other places, but we need that one up. We need it yesterday, to accelerate the steel production. Now, let's stop it before it finishes. We're getting 3.4 an hour, which makes sense. These are rated at 34 a day. Now, it's done. Now we're getting 4.1 an hour. So that's, from each of these is going to produce 7 more a day, so 14 more steel a day. Or, if you think about it, 41 compared to 34, you're going to get that 20% boost. And that's significant over time, especially. So now let's get everybody to work if we can. Speed it up a bit while that's happening. Oh, we're done in the cookhouse, which is nice. A couple people just don't want to finish eating. Oh, what do we have going on here? Shrines, Breath of Hope. Sir, people have started to leave personal charms, beads, and written prayers at shrines as votive offerings. It seems it helps them keep their spirits up in these trying times. Well, that's excellent. They're having an effect, although we're still one short of our goal there. We will hit it. It's just not as important to me to get another one up as it is to get everybody to work, which they just don't want to do. Lighter scout sleds have been researched. Well, how about that? Now, with all this talk about steel, I'm sure you know where I'm going here. There's lots of things we would like to get. Flying hunters, those would be really nice. Obviously, efficiency upgrade would be nice. It'd be nice to have more heaters. It'd be nice to have a factory, build automatons to perhaps work the factories at night. But we need the steam steelworks. 59 steel compared to 34 per day is a big, big improvement. We're doing that above anything else. That's the bottom line. And it's time for a new law. Boy, is that ever easy to miss, that notification. Okay, so our last one was the shrines. We're very aware of the evening prayers, which we can have. They can convince some Londoners to mend their ways. They require 20 food rations, so there is a cost. Raises hope and lowers discontent, so that's a good deal. The House of Healing here is sort of a mixed bag. A faithful working in the House of Healing will not only heal the sick, but also pray for them, giving them hope. Costs 50 wood to build the thing. A day and a half cooldown. And then it doesn't require engineers. Treats the gravely ill, gives all patients a small hope bonus. Well, that's great. But it doesn't heal people as fast as the infirmary. So it's like it helps their mental state more, but their actual physical health, not as much. So it's not a complete positive. It still would be good, but it's not a complete positive. And then field kitchens provide people working nearby with hot meals to keep them warm. And then again, day and a half raises the temperature of nearby workplaces by a level, and you have to build 2 field kitchens. Now we're definitely going to want this before the next cold snap hits, but that's not for, it's 3 to 4 days out. So we don't need that now. The biggest help now is going to be the evening prayers here. So that's what I'm going to go with. Group prayers will strengthen the bond of community. Give help to those who are lost. There we go. Any reason to come together is good. Okay, so we've got a couple hours left and everybody's in. I'd like to at least finish taking this down. We have more construction we could work on. Now we're working on the bunk houses, as we have still a few just tents in here. And you know, if we look at our temperature again, we'd like to adjust that. But we also want to fulfill the shrines. Getting that third shrine up would be nice. We'd actually like more than that, but now where's the most important place to have coverage? And here's where I'm going to make a bit of a strategy adjustment, because again, I think we're fine on coal. This would help us to get more with the coal over here, but we don't really need it. The cookhouse is ridiculous. We never need to have more production there. What's our biggest deal? Well, we've got these two research. Okay, so those are there. But then these down here aren't near a shrine, so they're not. If you look at our overall, it's up to 164%. It could be 168%. We could get a little more out of it if we had the shrine nearby. Let's see about where we can get coverage. Now it would just be this. You know, I don't think we can get any on the hunters' huts, which makes sense. We just have the sawmill, really, and the workshop. And not having these two workshops next to each other sort of hurts us a little bit here. And we could have this sawmill. The sawmills are going to go away eventually. And we know that. But, you know, if we extended this street and built the shrine over this way, and maybe we'd eventually move a sawmill over here, we could get double coverage there. As far as this side goes, I think we just want to sort of plop it down. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really as good as anything. And then anything else we might build over here would be helped. So let's throw a shrine there. And then I think that's all we're going to do for now, because we can always build this out overnight if we want. We've got another scout showing up. Oh, there's the outpost group. They've reached the coal mine, which is nice. Definitely want to build that outpost. And we've reached the American camp. There's not a living soul in the camp. We found about a dozen emaciated bodies. Surprisingly, most of them were amputees fitted with prostheses. Starved Americans. Camp was well supplied with everything except food. Searching the tents, we found more victims of hunger. Most of them have badly worn but sophisticated artificial limbs bearing a company symbol. Tesla Manufacturing. I love that reference. We can only bury them and take their equipment, so we've got a temporary settlement that we found. 68 steel and a steam core. So do we head on to the temporary settlement? 2 rows of small wooden huts, no smoke or other signs of life. Looks like a well-kept but temporary settlement. So by this, it doesn't look like we have any evidence that there's people still alive there. And, you know, the steam core by itself we'd risk, but we've got steel with it. Buried the poor Yanks under the flagpole, stars and stripes flying over their grave. But yeah, with that much steel being as valuable as it is to us right now, it's a decent amount. I'm just going to bring that back. And we'll have that for use tomorrow. And our other scouts are headed off towards the snow cliff. And they'll be arriving overnight also. Yes, the day is over. It's time once again to go hunting. Okay, so here we are with everybody going hunting, and you can see we've got 210 food rations, 222 people. You might want to consider about cutting back on that, but we really do not want to do that. We want to keep building our food reserves. That's another potential mistake that's out there. And there have been a couple times already that I've possibly erred in that. Maybe not. But regardless, definitely want to keep all of those hunters rolling. Now, we've got this shrine building here, and I want to extend this street as I talked about. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of continuing the whole process of, boost this out as far as 6 will go, continuing the whole process of expanding your research capability. Even though we're at 164% now, 168% with the shrines, we can get every little thing you can get out of the research is absolutely vital. And there, so if anything I build, see that cookhouse is even covered, which is interesting. And I could build another sawmill over here later that'll be covered by that to get a little bit of extra benefit out of it, or something more inside that area that's in here. But yeah, that's where we're going to go with that. And then there's the question of, we could build another outpost. Where are they at? I think it's under tech. Yeah, we could build another outpost depot here. We'd lose some wood there, and that would allow us to get the 150 wood from Winterhome. And the question is, is that worth it? Well, right now, I'm actually going to say it's not. Just because we got 700 and some wood. We've got more we can get from the sawmills. We are not in a situation where we're short on wood. And this is not a insignificant investment. It takes 25 wood, 45 steel. It takes more steel to create the team and workers. And there's not a location that's worth it right now. So last time through I did do that. And it's not a terrible idea, but I didn't realize how much steel I was going to need. So I don't think I want to do that. So we've got the 2 shrines. We've got this street going up over here. What else do we need? Well, we need the bunkhouses, obviously. And that's an important thing to finish up. Let me just check. Now, I want to make sure we're spaced properly here. So we could fit the 1 bunkhouse here, so everything on the inner ring fits perfectly. This is not the case everywhere, because this second ring isn't perfectly spaced because of stuff like the care house and the child shelters and so on. We're going to want to start moving those as soon as we can. Now, for that reason, I'm actually not going to upgrade that one. I think I'll upgrade this one. And this one. So we continue to do the 2 at a time thing. And if we look at our child shelters, where are we at on them? Oh, we got 27 and we've got 2 of them. What about our temperature? You can see our temperature for these is fine. So, reason being, we could eventually want to move these to the outer edges. And I'm probably going to want to do that and make it all housing in the middle at some point. Obviously, we don't need that heater on because we're sitting really good there. See those 2, 3, 4. We still have plenty of people. So, it's a reasonable idea to try to start that process now. So we've got the labor. So let me check the health here. Care house. And that just fits nicely right in there. So if I put that in that location and extend this street out more so it connects up, there we go. Again, we've got plenty of wood. I think that's where I want to be on the building for the moment. Speed this up a bit until we get some of these finished. Shrines have been erected. People feel encouraged to pray more often. Hope rises. Excellent. So that should help us continue to combat the Londoners. And let's do this as well. Let's have a sermon and evening prayers. You can see almost everybody living near a house of prayer. That's still going. We know enough people to work because of all the prayers, but that'll resolve itself once they're done there. Okay. Now, only 29 steel left. That's upgrading. Let's get that one going as well. See all the people going out of that house of prayer. Off to various tasks. Okay. So here's our care house. Let's go and turn that heater on. We can see that it's livable right now. So we don't even... Oh, okay. It's chilly without that on. So we do want it to be livable. But we can take this one down. And let's see about getting that bunkhouse upgraded. And I think that's pretty much going to do it now. We have scouts with steel. And, of course, the steam core. And then we've got the one group that's almost there, so we're obviously going to head back out to this temporary settlement. Be there in just over a day. And look at this, nobody in the infirmary. Well, now there's people starting to get sick, but still. Scouts have reached the snow cliff. More fun. The hole in the cliff leads to a small chamber. Somebody lives here, but the lonely human figure we saw from afar has disappeared. It could be the sole survivor of Winterhome. The refugee from Winterhome. The man we've seen from afar was nowhere to be found. Searching his burrow, we found a diary of a scientist who fled Winterhome. After the starving city fell into chaos, its leader, an army captain, appointed himself an absolute ruler. He tried to impose order using force. Plenty of people, disgruntled, deserted the city, and most of the others rebelled against him. So, anarchy indeed. Shrouded Cave and freshwater springs nearby. We've got 61 wood, 101 rations, and a steam core. What's nearby? Is it anything worth risking those resources over? Well, we've got a shrouded cave, faint wisp of smoke coming from a patch of deep shadow at the base of a small hill, an inhabited cave. That sounds worth it. Freshwater springs, distant glimmers of sun reflected on the surface of water. Unfrozen water here points to the presence of freshwater springs. That could be a good resource location. No indication of people there yet. I think, and these, yeah, they already had 343 coal. But I think they want to take the risk and get to that shrouded cave, since we think there's somebody there. And that'll be another 10 hours. About another hour, we're going to get influx of coal, so we don't have to worry about that. Looks like our building is done. Continue to clear space to work around our housing. There's very little. So if we turn this on, we've got the one tent, and that's it. Everybody else has bunkhouses. Whoa, hold on. What do we have here? People regain hope. For the first time, the Londoners have failed to persuade anyone to abandon our city and flee to London. People are recovering from their shock at the news of Winterhome and are starting to hope for the future. Well, that's some excellent news. The one thing is, I think we have enough without anybody using this. And with our heat, you can see these are all comfortable. We can make them livable and turn down the heat. So I think it makes sense here, now that we've reached this point, to go to steam level 1. And then because I'm going to want to move it anyway, and let me sort of get into why here. If we just take bunkhouses, if we place one here, you can see the spacing doesn't add up right. It's not gonna, so we need to move these over and spread it around to make everything sort of evenly spaced. So we can just get rid of that one. Nobody's living there anyway, and I did turn down the heat, right? No, we can save the coal. Still want to keep it at the range, but yeah. And we have to get organized. We have to do something. How we're going to survive. What should we do? I've gone a little farther than normally intended, but that's day 17. Day 18 coming up as we continue to try to improve our situation here in New London, and that'll be soon. Till then, thanks for watching.